Recording in progress. All right, so everybody, we're recording now. So everybody, be on your best behavior, and we as best as you can, Thamira, and we're all gonna just have a lovely chat about this cool new project that just launched. Because I stayed up until 3 a.m. doing it, and it's like ready, and it's beautiful, and it's amazing, and it's awesome, and we're gonna have a ton of fun with it. And it is the Oak. And we're very excited about it. It is, in fact, the newsletter for the arts and sciences community of the Kingdom of Atlantia. And we are making a huge shift from paper and the occasional attempt at an electronic copy of a newsletter into the world of blogging with WordPress as a platform. So I am your friendly neighborhood editor. So I'm in the hot seat for leading this effort, but I am greatly supported by the magnificent Marina Ruiz de Medina right here on my side here. There's Marina. Marina is focusing on content, like the meaty stuff, the actual words and pictures and articles and things. So she is focusing on that and reaching out to people and saying, would you write something? And you're cool and you have this idea and write something, please. And so she's generating the content. And then I'm taking that content and putting it out on this website that has been built with great help from our Kingdom web minister, Noble Owen. He's awesome, by the way. So I'm going to show you about this website, and also our beloved, okay, down here, down there, our beloved Kingdom MOAS, at least for the time being, until she finds a replacement. Deirdre has been really spearheading the effort to make it happen and to empower me and Marina and the people to do this project, because there's a lot of people that miss it. And I completely understand that. Having a space online for your community. Yeah, exactly, James. Having a space online to share information in your particular community is very empowering. And in my day job, my regular day job that is not the acting part for fun, but what actually pays the rent is I am a knowledge manager, and I work in the arena of the military for information management, which is the overlap of people and processes and technology. So using the technology that we have and plugging in the processes that we can build to empower the people to get the information that they need at the time that they need it. That's information management. And that is essentially what we're doing here with the Oak, is giving us a space, a community online to share information amongst us, people, our community here. And the super cool thing is we are definitely an Atlantia project, an ANS community, and yet we can be open to anybody. So, worldwide, just like, University of Atlantia has been serving the people of the SCA worldwide, so can the Oak, understanding that people from all over the world could submit and could read our stuff. So broad, wide open opportunities are kind of our focus here. So I would like to show you the webpage. And before I do that, I want to tell you a couple of things about my philosophy about what we're doing here with this. First of all, my number one most important mission is to empower the people to share what they want to share. And I am not in the business of judging the appropriateness or the quality or the accuracy of your content. That's up to you, the author. And we have some help. So you're not like alone in this, but help is in the form of the lovely Marina. And we may also get some additional help along the way if things develop that way. The idea is help for polishing your article in terms of grammar, punctuation, spelling, and general clarity. But we're not in the business of judging whether or not you're good enough to be in the Oak. Everybody's good enough to be in the Oak. It is up to you to ensure that the quality of what you are sharing with the world is what you want. So there are other opportunities in the SCA to get a little more deep into that quality polishing with editors and subject matter experts, and that's the Complete Anachronist and the Tournaments Illuminated. Those are always looking for motivated authors, people who want to get some support from extremely good editors and really go through the gauntlet of pushing yourself through some challenges to polish your content so that it is good enough for a high level standard. So the thing is, we have opportunities in the SCA if you want to go through the gauntlet and get really deep into editing and quality control and that kind of thing. The Oak is not going to be that. The Oak is your opportunity to start out and put your information out there on the net to have, to share with people. So if you want to go in the direction of deep dives, I can hook you up with the Complete Anachronist staff and the Tournaments Illuminated staff. And also we have plenty of subject matter experts that you can also coordinate with. The starting point is going to be the Oak, where you can put up something and say, all right, this is my starting point. This is where I'm at right now. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be what you love. So empowerment to the people. That is my mission here, is to give you guys space to put your stuff out there and share it, and then find more people. And then if you want to move up and, put yourself through more challenges, then there are places to do that in the SCA. So that's my main mission, is empower the people. Okay, that was like really, really important, and everything else doesn't matter. Voila. Here it is, the Oak. All right, my friends. So I hope everybody can see my screen. See my screen where we have the Oak homepage. Is there anybody who's not seeing it? Speak up now. We can help you. Okay, super duper. So what you're looking at here is a WordPress site. And it was built as an instance of WordPress by Noble Owain, our Kingdom Web Minister, and can do this for other groups if you want. The super cool thing that I think is brilliant is built a theme for WordPress that is custom for Atlantia. A theme on WordPress is the foundation of look and feel and function. So for instance, all these pretty colors, the font, the navigational tabs up here at the top, all of that is based on a foundational piece of software called a theme that Owen customized for Atlantia. So it took me a little while to learn theme, but it was well worth it, because now the Oak has the same look and feel as the Kingdom of Atlantia homepage. And I gotta just move this around a little bit. Voila. So you see how the colors and the font and the basic layout are very similar. Oh, here's Hagar. They're very, very similar. That's because we're using the same theme. So one thing that is different is I am using the blog function as the main way of presenting articles. And you have probably seen these kinds of things before on other web pages. Articles, the most recent articles, is just in the front center here. And I've got 3 examples. So actually 4. This is the very first kind of quickie demo test under construction post that I made back in September when I was just starting out. And then I published the issue number 28 that Deirdre and Veronica put together back in August, because this is the issue. And you can see it's an article here, but let's click read more here. And you're going to see the actual article come up. And look at that. That is the PDF that they put together. And it is presented here as an article with the PDF that you can then peruse through or download or whatever you wish. Now going back, I also have a little new announcement welcome message. This is a different style where there's no picture and no attachment. It's just basic text with a bunch of links. And then the third one is this one. This is actually more genuinely what we're going to be sharing. Y'all out there in the world will be writing your cool articles and they're going to look a lot like this. So there's a tiny little teaser in the front. I have an option to put in an image that's a featured image. And then this is the link directly to it, or you could click the read more. And this is a different format. This is one with a featured picture, and you can see this little note here, that's a category. And so one of the categories is populist posts. That's just anybody who's posting anything. And what this happens to be is the entry for the Persona Development Challenge happening this summer that Iselda and Matthias did together. And so here's a picture that I just took this picture from their YouTube. It's a screenshot from their YouTube. And the video link here to their YouTube is them singing, or her singing, him playing. And then here is the actual article, complete with pictures and links and cool stuff and more links. So this is a very interactive, there's her lyrics and very interactive multimedia way of sharing your articles. These down here are tags. So ways to search for articles include a regular old search box that will look for keywords. You also have the category here, and then any tags that you want to add. And we can go back and add more tags later. So if we discover that sins, if we discover sins is a good keyword for this this article, then we could just add a tag that says sins or, you know, virgin or whatever it is. She can, the author can correct me later if I get it wrong. So Iselda and Matthias can come back and say, hey, could you add these other tags? Easy peasy. Just add them. Not a problem at all. So these are the different ways that articles can show up. And you see they're in the front center here. Those categories, like I said, are here on the left. And then these tags are what I just showed you. And keep in mind, these are small lists right now, and that's because I only have 3 introductory articles here. The more articles we publish, the more categories we can build and the more tags we add. So these lists will expand over time. They will be, you know, just growing with the content. And also, just so you know, these pictures on the right-hand side here, these are from 2 folks that offered their pictures from their Persona challenge. And they were just easy for me to get, and they're pretty. And I got a variety of images. And my hope at some point is to change these out periodically. They're just pretty pictures from people who were willing to submit their pictures to the use of the oak. So these are just sort of pretty and attention getting and cool. So they can change, they can be whatever we want them to be. So that is the introduction to the front page. I have more that I can tell you about, especially about the submission guidelines and how we make it happen. But let me pause for a second to see if you're clear on the theme, the look and feel, and the functions, the basic functions that we all have here. Anybody got any questions at this point in time? Okay, cool. Thamir is good. Honora is good. Honora, darling, hello. Hi. James,
Hello.
thumbs up. Awesome. Okay, so no questions so far.
I have a question.
Oh, you do have a question, Honora.
Yes.
Great. Go ahead.
In the past, when when we've gathered information for newsletters and other types of publication to the public, we've had to go through the gambit of making sure that releases are on file. So I'm assuming that is still a requirement.
Oh yeah,
for the Oak. Okay.
We live but die by the releases. Yes, we do. And I've got some cool news about that. So that's a great entree into my next thing to talk about. And that's this puppy right here, submission guidelines. So this is a page within the site that we can all look at together. And am I missing anything? Oh, right. I keep forgetting that Owen is they, them. Thank you, darling. So submission guidelines. This is the very basic summary, and then I have I have details down here. So basically any size or format of the article is super fine. I don't care how long or short it is. I'll give you a basic guidance that blog posts do very well around the 2,000 to 3,000 word mark. But there is no technical limit to how long or short your article can be. In fact, if you just decide that you found something cool and you said, oh my gosh, this is the best website ever. It's a museum of medieval puppets. And I would say, oh, that needs to get out there into the world. Yes, I can say, look what I found. It's a cool website on medieval puppets, and I'm looking through it and I found these cool things. It can be a paragraph and a link. Voila. And that's it. And that goes into an article. It can be that short, or it can be long or detailed or not, however you wish. The whole idea is the more cool, relevant content that we cram in here, the better, because people will share it and learn from it. I do have one rule here. I'm going to reserve the right to not publish something, because we're at the beginning of this and we don't know what the future holds. So my personal way of being is to empower the people to do what they want. And, my job is to just help them and empower them and, give them a platform to share what they want to share, as long as it fits within the SCA mission scope. So that's learning about the history of our world pre-1600 of the Common Era. So as long as it fits into the SCA mission, I'm pretty darn open to it. However, I'm sure there are circumstances I have not foreseen. So my expectation is that if I find something questionable that I'm just not sure about, then the Kingdom MOAS, Deirdre, and my buddy Marina, and the Kingdom Chronicler, currently Katerina, we are going to get together and talk about it. So that's all I can say is unforeseen circumstances are going to absolutely require a conversation, and we will do everything that we can to empower the people, understanding that if you are wanting to publish something on how to build a bomb, that will be a question, and we're going to talk about it and see whether or not we're okay with that. So there's just a overall reservation for maybe we might not publish something if a conversation results in a decision that we're not going to do it.
You want another CA13 problem?
CA13?
Oh, you may not be old enough to remember the complete anachronist number 13.
Oh my God, wait. This rings a bell like somebody told me about it, but I don't know what it was. Was it like porn or something?
Yeah, somebody did a very detailed analysis on period erotica, and they published it, and it caused a certain amount of problems.
Okay, well, that's a great example, because what I'm going to tell you is we'll talk about it. I will not make any decisions on my own. We have a committee of people that's all dedicated to doing the right thing. And, one person's porn is another person's art. And there will be gray areas, and we'll work it out.
Trust me, after all that came out of that, that's not a gray area. You don't want to go there.
Okay, good. So now we have precedence. I can go look back at it and say, okay, there's a line in the sand. Super. Thank you. To Larry, darling.
You might want to include the DEI on your Tiger team if you get anything that.
Thank you. Perfect. Had not thought about that, but you're absolutely right. Yes, I should rope in the DEI person. I don't know who that is right now. Do you know who that is? Anybody?
I do. His name is Brennan. He's local to me.
Super. All right. Let's you and me and him talk some point and just like meet each other so that I know who Brendan is. Thank you, Marina. See, look at this girl. She's got my back. She's awesome. All right. All right, super. So speaking of Marina, the Oak staff will provide limited editorial support, and the quality and accuracy of the content is the responsibility of the owner. So Marina has a life, and I want her to get enough sleep. And if she's digging into deep dives on editing with people, you know, let's just say it's up to her how much sleep she loses over it. But we need to keep a limit on how deep dive we go into the editing. So like I said, if you want like really amazing professional editors and a deep dive into putting your content through the gauntlet, then the Complete Anachronist and the Tournaments Illuminated are great places for that. So we're going to give you lightweight editorial support. And oh, right. I forgot about this. So you know how the Oak was traditionally something that came out like once or twice a year, and it had a compilation of everything in a nice PDF format, like issue number 28 that Deirdre and Katerina did? We'll still do that. We're still going to do that, and we're going to aim for January and I think June, depending, June or July. So what my hope is to do is to launch this and get feedback over the next couple of weeks, see what you guys think, and then put together a compilation that will be a lot like the issue number 28 that you saw. And it's going to be both published here as an article and also a PDF that can be shared in the traditional way that folks that are allergic to blogs can still enjoy and see all the information you got to share. So the idea is both and we're going to do all of it. And okay, those are the basics. The submission guidelines are here. It's all your basic stuff about what we're doing. This is the APA citation guide. So if you want to get into something very specific and keep your citations consistent, this is the guide that we're going to recommend. And here is what Honora was talking about. The release here is necessary for everything, and that includes your text and your pictures. And this is what documents that you as the author have the copyright to your material, and you are licensing it to the Oak in the way that you choose. So let's take a look at this real quick. Just open up a version of it here. So this is consistent throughout the SCA. In fact, the link is to sca.org. So even though we also have a copy of this on the Atlantia pages, this is what we use. This documents, or at least your attestation that you have copyright to your own creative work, and you are granting the use for certain things. And what we're going to ask for, if you want to click the number 1, that's just like, yep, here, have it, doesn't matter. That's great. If you want to do something specific, you can say publish the work once in the issue of the Oak. That's the kind of thing that you can do. And then signature at the bottom. This is a fillable PDF, and I can't make the signature happen right now. There are a number of ways to do the signature, and if worse comes to worse, all you need to do is you can print it out and take a picture of it. Print it out, scribble in regular pen and paper style, and then take a picture of it and send it up. So that is the copyright form, and this puppy right here, that is the Google form to roll them all. This has everything in it. It's got the submission guidelines, which is the document we were just looking at, and all of the basic information about who you are, where you are in the group. This is just kind of a nice to have. Other is for everybody else in the world that's not as cool as us Atlanteans. And then synopsis of your article, synopsis of you. Do you have a time frame? Like, does it have to get up in the next month to be useful because it refers to 12th night or something like that? And here's where you upload all your stuff. Here's where you upload your release form. This is where you upload your actual content. Any other additional copyright information. So for instance, if you are using somebody else's work with permission, then uploading your documentation for that can be done here. So for instance, if I were to get permission from Heather Dale to do an article on a song of hers, I would want to have an email where I email Heather and I say, hey, Heather, may I have permission to use your song, Bow to the Crown, for a cool article on here? Then that email, like a screenshot of that email or something, or PDF, would go here, where any additional permissions given can be uploaded and kept in our files. And then consent, of course, and any other questions, and submit, and voila, that is how you submit your stuff to us. And Marina and Marina is going to be the first one to see it all and look through it, and then contact you if there's any questions, and she'll look at it and polish it and then tell me, haha, it's ready, launch into the universe, and then I'll launch it. And then here's current staff members' email, voila. So that is the submission guidelines and copyright. Questions? And there are a couple other cool features in here. Links to external sites. This is, again, a short list that I hope to see grow over time, because I really do hope that we will collect up some relevant links here that will, just be, relevant to our community. So for instance, of course, we got SCA home and then calendar. This is the MOAS direct link under the Kingdom webpage. University of Atlantia, of course, because that's just an awesome link to have handy. And then there are other slightly less cool, but still really awesome Kingdom universities out there in the world. And my favorite is Mid-Realm because, they are pretty cool. And I've got some friends that work there. So this, I hope, will grow. If you have suggestions of external sites that can go here, tell me. We'll put them right in. And there's another feature here, the Oak calendar. This is something I don't have fully developed yet. I just have the feature up. We just have a calendar here, and we can put in, cool events and things that are relevant here. We can put them in, and it's kind of a focused calendar for things that are relevant to the ANS community, as you might consider it maybe a subset of interesting things from the Kingdom calendar. So this is, under development. I don't really know exactly how I'm going to make this happen, but your suggestions are very, very welcome. All right, my friends, that is your basic introduction. I have more to tell you about roadmap of things to come. However, I would like to pause here and see if you have questions, ideas, thoughts, concerns, fears, dreams, anything you would like to share.
Well, I'd like to first thank you for all this wonderful work here. And I will mention that the idea of having a separate calendar was one I requested, because I think that's a place where we can put things like deadlines for the Tempore Atlantia, or, if we hear, excuse me, if we hear about a museum exhibit that's particularly interesting and is reachable by Atlanteans, we can put it in there. So, or if a local group has an ANS thing going on and they want to put it on the calendar, that's great. So it will specifically focus, at least my concept of it, is it will specifically focus on A&S activities, not just things that could get lost in the overall event announcement.
I agree completely. And you know, that actually reminds me of one of the cool things about this platform that I think will enhance our sharing of information. Social media, especially Facebook, the SCA is addicted to Facebook. Things get lost. If you don't see it in the moment, like that day, it's hard to go back and find something. So this platform allows for permanent links to articles to be shared around, and you can go search for them. So for instance, if Deirdre's dream of a cool museum event happens, we could put a little article in here, says, hey, cool museum event happening, little article about it, and then put a note in the calendar, and the two of them can link together, and then it's there forever. You can take the link to the article, share that on Facebook, and say, hey, everybody, here's the article. Now you all know about it. But the permanent place where you go to actually look at the information is on a static web page, which is this right here. So it makes it easier to track down that information when you're not, you know, when you're digging through Facebook and trying to use the search function. So, yeah, that's it. Super. All righty. So calendar, very cool. All right. Any other thoughts, questions before I dive into the roadmap of the road ahead?
Well, you had originally envisioned having an ability to subscribe to this page.
Yes. It's an add-in I haven't found yet. Yes, it will happen. I promise. I promise. It's very, very important to me. There will be a little box on here that says so subscribe via email. And all you got to do is put in your email address, hit subscribe, and voila. At that point, all of the articles that get published here, that will be an email to your inbox with the new article. So it's going to be very cool. In fact, let me show you real quick. I put this on the Performing Arts Guild page. So here it is. This is exactly how it's going to look. Enter your email address, hit subscribe, and join the 23 other subscribers. So the Performing Arts Guild WordPress site. This is very similar. This is one that I built 100 years ago. And, you know, we haven't done a whole lot with it recently. But this is the function. And I just need to find the little add-in thing that fits Owen's WordPress theme. So that's just a little extra thing I got to do. But yeah, it'll look a lot like that right there. Also, by the way, just while I am here showing you other examples, I want to show you this page, the Ethelmark Gazette. This is one of my models of a very cool WordPress site that I have been inspired by. This is their kind of online newsletter for Ethelmark, and they have a wonderful layout here. And of course, you can see their theme is also very customized for the colors and look and feel and the font here for Ethelmark. So here, follow blog via email. This is exactly the same thing we were just talking about. They've got a little Facebook feed thing going on here. Here's their categories, and you see they've been at this a lot longer than I have. So their categories here, that's what we're gonna eventually look like. Tons and tons of categories. There are also tags, but I don't see their tag cloud. So yeah, I don't see their tag cloud. But you see, look, here's their latest COVID team update thing. They've got their, oh, here's the tags. They just don't have it on the tag cloud on the front page. Okay. So COVID policy, COVID-19 map. This is exactly what I'm aiming to get to. lots of tags, lots of categories, and you've got some social media features, little like buttons. So all right, let's talk about things to come. Things to come. Things to come. Here we go. Okay, these are my notes. Hopefully this will be reasonable to share with you. To do yet. Recording the meeting. Check. Done. Okay, I'm recording this meeting. Email subscription option, just like you said, Deirdre, right there. I would like to learn how to spell carousel, but the pictures that you see here, on the right-hand side, I want to turn that into a carousel, similar to what you saw on the Performing Arts Guild page. And that's just a matter of finding the right add-in feature and stick it in there. Got to do a little more research. I want to add more external links. I showed you that up at the top. There's an external links page, and that's just going to be suggestions from the audience. What people think are going to be good to go in here. I want to add more to the calendar, of course. The accessibility features, I got to do that. That is actually something Owen is amazing about. Do you see on the Kingdom page this little guy right here? This little button. This is accessibility tools. That's a widget he's added to the they have added to the Kingdom page, and this is just stuff that helps people read it better depending on what they need. And I'm in love with this, and he has some kind of an add-in that they have some sort of an add-in that I need to include. So this is to come with Owen's help. Also, Google Analytics is wonderful. I do not have that set up yet, but that shows us traffic and usage, and as much as we can about what's getting high traffic, what isn't, how it works. So I do love Google Analytics. I haven't set that up yet, but that's another one of those features that I need to get in there with. And this is more Marina's area, but we do have a whole bunch of ideas of kind of themes and series for content, stuff like articles from the Kingdom Notables and officers and things. So Marina, do you have some thoughts on that you'd like to add? Any ideas you want to get into?
Yeah, so right now our current content library has about 9 or 10 existing completed edited articles ready to go individually. We have 6 more in the pipeline from a variety of different artisans in different stages of writing and editing. And we've had 5 or 6 handfuls of like individual suggestions. But really what I'm doing with the content is if a suggestion comes in and somebody has a specific author in mind, I try to reach out to that author directly and set up a time where we can talk about what that author might envision their article looking like. If it's an author approaching us, I still like to have a little bit of a sit down saying, hey, how do you want to see your work best shown off? And then we use the Google Suite and Google Docs to pass back and forth these articles until we get it to the place where the author is really happy with how their work looks. That involves mostly like stylistic editing, so that when we're putting something up on the Oak, we're giving every artisan a platform where they can show off their best. Not judging the quality of the art, not any of that kind of stuff, just making sure that when somebody's name is attached to something, we're uplifting them and making sure that they're happy with what shows up on the site. I'm really happy that we've got the submission Google Doc ready to go because I'm ready to plaster that everywhere. And yeah, there have been some really fun suggestions from doing stuff from the Kingdom Notables. There have been a lot of people that wanted to see content on demystifying documentation, on different types of documentation and ANS. So one of the articles that we've got going kind of in really early stages, is talking with Olav Isa about, what does it look like when your art is documentation and stuff like that. But doing some more demystifying of all of that is pretty high on our list. As we discussed in the MOAS office hours, we also want to do something highlighting the theme of the reigns of each subsequent set of monarchs as they come in. So once our current highnesses have chosen what their theme is, I'm going to be reaching out to try to find a subject matter expert on that. But really, it's been anything from individual interests like gaming to a lot of people were really impressed by us, this non-traditional scroll that went out at Holiday Fair. So I reached out to the person that made it and we're going to get them. But it's really been a very collaborative process with the authors. And it's quite a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I love what you're doing, Marina. I really do. And I'm so glad you're doing it because I do not have the time to do all of that. And so I'm so glad that you're doing all of this wonderful outreach work. I just love it. We're such a great team. We're going to do amazing things. I love it. I'm just so excited. All right. So my friends, be sure to keep in touch with Marina for all your good ideas and, just jump on that bandwagon. A couple other little things here. Deirdre was thinking, and we did get a little started on a heraldic badge. Ooh, Honora, what's up with you?
I'll ask my question after you finish with the heraldic badge.
Okay, sure. So Deirdre and I and Gies sat down at last university and started talking about it. It would just be really cool to have our own heraldry because right now we don't really have an image that is shareable and recognizable as the oak. And, we have lots of things that we could do with it. I'm personally a little partial to squirrels. I think maybe a squirrel would be involved, would be nice. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's just like a dream TBD. So that's where we're at. Okay, that's it. Honora, what's on your mind?
Okay, I have two questions. The first question is, what additional help / staffing do you anticipate needing?
Good one. I need more marinas. Marina is just amazing and does all the things I just don't have time to do. And I'm really good at managing a web page and all of that, but actually the editing, I'm not that great at. I'm okay. But help generating the content and then polishing it with that lightweight editing I was talking about. That's really where I think we could use more help because I've got the website managed and I can keep that going. And the content generation is what has no limit. As much as we can generate, we can get into the web page and make beautiful things happen. So the more people doing what Marina's doing and helping Marina, I think will make more of the joy happen. So if you wanted to jump in on this bandwagon, I would ask you to work with Marina on generating more content and finding people to do the writing yourself, and helping people do some editing and getting it ready for me to post it. How does that sound?
One of the
Sounds good.
actual content generation bits that I'm going to push for in the new year is I actually want to go back into previous editions of the Oak, specifically for some of the evergreen type content like Stadian created poems and songs that might not necessarily need an update on the actual research. In particular, we're going to be working with Duchess Melisande to try to get some of Duke Girth's stuff cataloged and saved, because we really wanted to be able to show off some of that. So help in that particular arena as well as the new content generation would be awesome.
Woot! I didn't know you were doing that with Mel. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
And like you said, evergreen is a word I hadn't thought of before, but you're right. You know, somebody writing beautiful poetry doesn't have any updates it needs based on new research. You know, it's just beautiful as it is. So super. Um, okay, also on that line of thinking, this line right here, I can technically add people to the WordPress site as publishers. If right now I want to keep a hold of it myself and just let one person do it until we get a little further down the road. I want to get my feet under me and, you know, make sure that I know what I'm doing. And then we can add people. All it is an account, and you've just got to get a little training from me on how to get in there and do the posting. And so we can share that load. So if there are folks that want to be part of the technical publishing team, we can build that out. It doesn't have to be just me. So that is another piece of help, even though, you know, honestly, posting things once we have the website built, it's easy to do the posting. That doesn't take a lot of time. So the generation of content is what takes time. Okay. The hard copy storage, I've got this beautiful box sitting in my living room of hard copies of stuff. And I'm not really sure what we're going to do with that. I mean, it should be kept somewhere. But yeah.
I
Not really
think
sure.
that probably should go to the Kingdom Archivist.
We have one?
Apparently. I didn't know this until fairly recently, but apparently we have a Kingdom Archivist.
We have a kingdom and archivist as well as a historian.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, I know Stefan as the historian. But I mean, you know, there are some things that I saw in that box that you gave me, Deirdre, that are, you know, kind of interesting and cool. But yeah, I was kind of thinking I can't really do much with the hard copies because we have the information, the content in PDFs. And
just so you know, I converted all those PDFs to Word documents.
a Word so they can be updated.
Yes.
Send them over.
Well, the original ones were hand typed and hand lettered. So many of them did not translate as well as they might have, but the later ones actually don't look too bad.
Cool.
But yes, we have Word documents from which we can work.
That's awesome. Brilliant. Okay, cool. So I think I'll find this archivist person. Does anybody know their name off the top?
Not offhand, but
All right, I'll go digging. I'll find the person. Okay, last thing, by the way, I got to run in like 3 minutes to go run the Performing Arts Guild meeting. But the January compilation, I would love to know what you guys want. What are you interested in? I'm hoping to get it published by the end of January so that whatever happened at 12th night can be, you know, included in like a, you know, what happened at 12th night article. But I'm open to hearing what you guys would like to see in an official PDF compilation that then gets emailed out to people. It might just be a whole lot of welcome to the new Oak stuff. But I would love to hear whatever you have as ideas for that. And that could be now or later.
I am planning on having those Kingdom notable articles ready for the January compilation, just so they're ready to go before the Baker happens at Ymir and Brewer at possibly CASF as well.
Cool. Yeah, and you know, at 12th night, we'll have this changeover of the Royal Bard, but you know, having Simon and Sarah as the old, and then whoever's the new person, having them all write something, it's all great. So, all right, my friends, we should wrap up. Any final questions or ideas or thoughts, fears, dreams? Hey, James. Are you just waving and saying bye and goodbye? Okay. Mwah. Love you, James.
I think it all looks great. really looking forward to watching it grow.
Thank you. Me too. All right, you guys are awesome. Thanks a million for being here. Thank you for joining in this fun project. And I'm gonna probably edit a little bit of the video here.
And just in case anybody wants to get in touch with Sophie or me about joining joining a group or doing any publishing or anything like that, I just dropped our email into the chat.
Thank you, Marina. Awesome.
All right.
All right, you guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna stop the recording.